Yo everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Steins 0. When last left off, Amadeus was calling us after being fixed. Hello? Help me. Krisu? Help me, Okabe. In that instant, I suddenly felt incredibly dizzy and everything went black. Okay. Oh, Zero? Zero is beta. Alpha. Oh, wait, does that mean Krisu is back? I felt I was floating up from the bottom of a black pit. My mind slowly began to clear. Where am I? I slowly looked around the room. There was no way I could mistake it. This was the future gadget lab, the place I had been just a moment ago. There was nothing unusual about it, except for the fact that everyone was missing. They were all there just a moment ago, but now they were all gone. I can't access my phone to see the contacts. I looked at the clock. It was just about 3 PM when I finished my call with Maho. Only a few minutes had passed. Even if I'd passed out, it would be impossible to imagine all of them leaving me here, which meant no way. I took a slow walk around the room. There were other strange things. Dara's PC, for example. There was a thin layer of dust on the keyboard, as if no one had used it in a while. And then the corner of the room. Normally that's where Mary put her bags. The paper bags were where she always put the cosplay outfits she was working on. I'd see them there just a moment ago, but now they were gone. Could this be... The world line changed again. But why? Come to think of it, Quiz's word from before. She looks so sad. Why would Krisu say something like that? Did it have something to do with the world line shift? I looked up my phone in my pocket and went to start Amadeus app and then stopped, and I can't do anything else. It's gone. The Amadeus icon was gone from my phone. What's going on here? My mind raced and tried to come up with an explanation. But of course I came up with nothing. Count down. I just need to find out what's going on here. I need to calmly find out what this world was like. I was about to walk towards the door when... the back of the room. I heard the sound from the back of the development room, which no one ever used anymore. Someone was there. Who? Daru? Mayuri? I slowly approached. I almost couldn't breathe. I never forgot her. The girl standing there was Masuke Krisu. Oh. See, that's where I should have ended last episode, but how did I was supposed to know? Oh my gosh, Krisu? Masuke Krisu was looking down at something. This is impossible. Krisu couldn't be here, because she was dead. Was I seeing things? Was my desire to see her making me hallucinate? But it seemed far too realistic to be a hallucination. Still, I felt that if I spoke a word, she would disappear. I couldn't say a thing. What she was staring at, without even moving a muscle. What was she staring at without even moving a muscle? She was so still that I thought she must be a hallucination after all, but then... She finally exhaled a little and slowly turned around. Okabe? My throat was dry, and I couldn't speak. If you were standing there, you should have said something. You scared me. Happy New Year's. Anyway, it's not often I see you come by anymore. Okabe? It's really you, isn't it? What the hell? What the heck kind of way to start off the new year is that? Are you okay? Did you eat something bad? Even her slightly peeved expression. Krisu. What? And then the gentle flash is something, gentle flash you sometimes saw in her eyes. And this. What's wrong? Are you really okay? Even her warmth. What are you doing? This wasn't a hallucination or an artificial intelligence on a screen. It was the real Masuke Krisu. The real, live Masuke Krisu. Okabe, please, let me go. I'm sorry, but let me stay like this for just a little longer. Are you crying? I realized for the first time that my cheeks were red. I felt her soft hands on my back. Don't worry. It's okay now. It's okay. It's okay. She whispered to me in a soft voice and patted me on the back. And wrapped her arms around me. Kind of like a mother holding a child. Oh. It's also odd to see her. I think they've just, like Tenuji, just taken the Steins Gate portraits and just used them instead of remade them. That bodes well for this, Krisu. I'm sorry. I finally calmed myself down. She was still there. She still existed. Now that I calmed down, I realized what that meant. No, don't worry about it. That happens to me too, sometimes. That? You were thinking about Mayuri, weren't you? That's right. Krisu was here, which meant this was the Alpha World line. The world without Mayuri. The world where Mayuri died. Some sort of part of me had wished that this was the world beyond Steins Gate. That it was a new future which someone else had opened for me. But of course, that was too good to be true. There was no way for me to know what had happened. But I must have made my choice to give up on Mayuri. There was the future where she was gone. Confronted once more with the reality of Mayuri's death, my heart felt like it was about to burst. How had she died? Did they push her in front of a train? Did they shoot her? Or... Calm down. Chris's tiny hand wrapped around mine. Okay, come on. Deep breaths. Little by little, my racing heart began to calm down. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. No, it's not that. It's not... Are you going to take something? I'll bring you some water. I rummaged through my pockets and found a small box of pills. It was the same anxiety medication that I'd already been taking. Even in this world, I was still on the same drugs. I looked around the room while Krisu got some water from the tap. Hey Okabe, why? Why did he come back here? What? You haven't come here for a long time, you know? Even Hashida stopped coming. Daru too? Yeah. The room was awfully clean then. I took a closer look and saw that there were a few places like Daru's PC that were covered in dust, but the rest seemed to have been regularly cleaned. You, Krisu, you've been coming here? Sometimes. They'd be sad otherwise. I didn't have to ask who they were. Mayuri loved this place. She loved the Future Gadget Lab. She loved the time she spent with all the lab members here. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? Because I waited, but no answer ever came. What was she apologizing for? For talking about Mayuri? For making me remember? Or for making me choose? Krisu. What? No, nothing. Okay. If I said something, she'd answer me right away. I could reach out and touch her. That alone brought me on the verge of tears. If I just stayed here, like this... What was I thinking? I'd given up on everything and left her to die. And still, I was happy to be back here in this world line with Krisu. As I was sad over losing Mayuri, part of me was thinking I wanted to stay here, even though I didn't have the right. If there was a god in this world, he must be a cruel, twisted being. Why was he doing this to me again? What I'd done that wrong? I already made my choice once. There was no way to save the world. There was no way to save Krisu. But with Krisu in front of me, I was already starting to waver. Should I go back to the beta world line? Should I send the D-mail? The D-mail? Hey, what happened to the phone wave? Huh? You destroyed it. Did you forget? Yeah, that's fine. The phone wave no longer exists, it seemed. Of course it didn't. Its mere existence had made us a target of 7. But without it, I couldn't leave this world line on my own. Even if I did stay here on this world line, it wouldn't be my responsibility. It wasn't my fault. And it wasn't something I wanted. Which meant, hey Okabe. Sorry. Could you go get something to drink? Something to drink? I'm thirsty, you know. Something warm if you could. I can make instant coffee if you want. Wasn't that what Chris had always made me do? 2 cubes of sugar, no milk. We're out of coffee. Okay. Yeah, I should go. I want to get outside and think things through. Something sweet with milk and sugar. I thought you didn't put milk in your coffee. On cold days, I always want something sweet and creamy. Roger. I stood up and headed to the door, but turned around halfway. What? No. Felt like if I took my eyes off her, she'd disappear, but that was far too embarrassing to say. Okabe. Hang in there. I'm not a kid. I can run a simple errand. Yeah, you're right. Bye. My whole body relaxed the second I stepped outside the lab. Evidently, meeting the living Krisu had made me really tense. I didn't know how to talk to her or what to say anymore, even though I spoke to Krisu like it was the most normal thing in the world. I still couldn't believe it, though. Was I really in the Alpha World line? No, if Krisu was here, it had to be. But then, why? Who had caused this world line change and how? That call from Krisu. Was that what triggered it, somehow? No, I should stop thinking about it. If someone else had caused it somehow, I shouldn't get involved anymore. I didn't want to. I didn't want to overthrow the structure of the world anymore. I just wanted to live in peace. In a universe with no world line or attractor fields. Fictional, a world line convergence zone. This is the standard accepted model for quantum physics in 2036, after the many worlds interpretation and the Copenhagen interpretation. It is the determined interpretation where many world lines gather into a world branch called an attractor field. This attractor field is simply a zone in which all the world lines evidently reach the same end result. Major splits in world lines at the attractor field level are called world line trunks. One pre-2010 example of a world line trunk is the year 2000, also known as 2000, to those who can speak proper maths. I stopped letting the whims of fate rule my life. There was nothing left I can do. Suddenly, something seemed very wrong. Chris's words a moment ago, what had they meant? Okabe. She couldn't mean to. I turned around and rushed back to the lab. Chrisu! Chrisu, you, that... Too bad. I guess you found me. She was just where I'd seen her the first time, standing and looking towards the back of the development room. In the depths of the darkness, it's in a spot that just a moment ago had been covered off in cloth, I saw an old microwave with a door taken off. Microwave oven, a cooking apparatus that heats the moisture in food using microwaves. They originally called radar ranges. Radar, in this case, referred to electromagnetic waves. Microwave ovens were invented when a communications radar technician found that EM waves could warm food. Research was done on the process after that, and in 1947, they were sold to the public in America. Microwave ovens use waves in the 2.45 gigahertz frequency range, with home units having outputs between 500 to 1000 watts, and commercial ovens between 15 and 2000 watts. This frequency range is called the ISM band, and the same one used by wireless internet. The phone wave name subject to change. I like how he still calls it that. Future gadget number 8. It was the gadget that changed my fate. No, the fate of the world. How? Didn't I destroy it? Yes, you did. This is a new one I made. You could call it the Phone Wave Custom. Or wasn't the real name a little longer? Maybe it should be the Phone Wave name such name Custom. The name doesn't matter, you remade it? Why? To send a message to the past? I'm going to send a message and change the world line. No, maybe it would be better to say fix rather than change. I actually finished this a month ago. And since then, I've just been standing here wondering whether or not I should send the message. I certainly didn't expect you to come see me though. What are you... Tell me, Okabe. You just came from another world line, didn't you? And that was probably the beta world line. Am I wrong? You can tell? You never do something like that otherwise. Something like what? Well, the way you hugged me, you know? It was also wonderful. The way her cheeks reddened in embarrassment as she looked away. The way she pursed her lips. The way she fiddled with the ends of her hair. Everything was just so wonderful. I realized it again. I was in love with her. And what's more, someone else caused the world line change. You didn't do it voluntarily. Am I right? So you know everything then? Do you realize how much time I've spent watching you? Huh? No, it's more like... I don't mean like watching you. Well, I mean, I do mean it in that sense, but... Anyways... She took a deep breath and looked up at me again. If it came from the beta world line, then you choose that world once before, didn't it? She was far beyond what I could hope to be. In those brief moments, she discovered all that. She was right about everything. But even so, I couldn't let her know. Admitting that would mean admitting that I'd left her to die. There's no way I could do that. I'm sorry. In the end, that's all I said. But that was an omission, all the same. But instead of looking sad, she... Don't apologize, dummy. It was your choice, right? So, have confidence in it. She tried to cheer me up. That's right. Chrissy was right. I was the one who'd chosen the beta world line. But... And you know, I don't think you were wrong. You just got here. So you wouldn't know, but for the last several months, you've done nothing but blame yourself. Not that you'd ever let me see it. It was the same. It was the same as what I'd gone through. It was the same as the beta world line. But there was nothing I could do. Because your pain was because of me. You suffered so much to let me live. But that ends today. It has to. Because if it doesn't, the guilt is going to keep eating away at you. And in the end, it will crush you. It's the same. What do you mean? In the end, no matter which choice I make, I regret it. Not being able to save you, not being able to save Mayuri. It doesn't matter whether I'm in the Alpha World line or the Beta World line. So maybe I should just stay here. Get a hold of yourself, Okabe Minato. Krisu? Snap out of it. This isn't like you. Surprised she didn't slap him. The Hoin Kyoma I love is always more confident. She used the L word. Hoin Kyoma, huh? That was a name I haven't heard in a long time. You made the right choice. You chose to save Mayuri. And you weren't wrong. But I let you. Listen, what you're seeing right now is, it's a dream. That's all. A dream? That's right. You had a dream where you met me. That's all. Well, doesn't that make you feel a little better? Chris sighed a little and laughed. We learned so much about how the brain works, but we still don't understand the mechanisms by which we dream. The brain organizes and processes memories during sleep. One theory says the dream is a result of that process. In other words, this is a dream world being experienced by you in the beta world line, so you can get your head together, you know? And if it's a dream, you have to wake up someday. Am I wrong? But this isn't a dream, you're right. I reached out and touched her cheek. You're right here, aren't you? Touch sensations are just another of the brain's functions. She took a quick step back. The sensation of her cheek disappeared from my fingers. You won't be happy here anyway. You'll never be rid of the regret. And neither will I. That doesn't change in the beta world line either. I've done nothing but regret that I couldn't save you. But Mayuri's happy at least, isn't she? Mayuri is... She doesn't know anything. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted her to know nothing and be happy. For now, that wish was still coming true, but... You want Mayuri to be happy. So do I. I'm the same way. Which means that you made the right choice after all. I finally met her again, but... She was here alive right in front of me, but... Oh, come on! She walked up to me without even trying to hide her frustration. Stop this nonsense already, Okabe Minato. You already reached your conclusion. You can't stay here. You have to go back. You have to wake up from the dream. Because I don't want to see you suffer like this anymore. Come on. This is a waste of time. I'm doing it. She turned away from me. I could feel the strength of her will, her resolve. I remember what I'd seen just after I came to this world line. Chris had been standing there in front of the phone wave. Thinking back, she probably already made her decision, without anyone knowing, without anyone to say goodbye to. She'd chosen to go to the world where she would no longer exist. It had probably taken her a long time and a lot of struggle to come up with that decision. She probably asked herself 1,000 times if it was really the right answer. If this is what she'd chosen after all that, I didn't have the right to stop her. It would be wrong. Hey, Okabe. Before you wake up, promise me something. What? When you get to the beta world line, forget about me. That was just the opposite of what she said that day. That day, the day she'd chosen the beta world line, she said to me, don't forget me. But now she was asking for the opposite. Forget you? You know I can't do that. She was always like that. She always cared more about others than herself. She was always sacrificing herself. She was always asking me for the She was always asking me this for my sake only. She didn't want to be forgotten. She hated being forgotten more than anyone else could. Remember what I said? This is a dream. Once you wake up from a dream, you forget what happened, right? She was stubborn and bullheaded. I would never be able to forget her. But I still remember the nightmares I had when I was a little kid. Who are you calling a nightmare? It was all I could do to keep from breaking down. But it was probably the same for her. Anyway, forget about me. Forget about what happened today. And everything that came before. That's what I want. She turned around to stick out her pinky finger. She forced it around mine. It's a pinky promise. Lie and I'll stab an electrode in your hippocampus. Get it? Got it? That didn't rhyme at all. Shut up. I know this is really bad and very emotional and all that stuff, but ask Krisu for help now before she takes things away. She might be able to help you with why you're here in the first place. Her hand moved away from mine. Her gaze looked away from me. It was almost time to say goodbye. She was sending a message to her past. I knew it was the right thing to do. I knew this is what she wanted, but still... Our voices overlapped. What was it? You first. That's nothing. I just wanted to say it out loud. The name of the person I killed for. Well, coincidence. So did I. The name of the person I loved. Hey, do you remember when we first met? Of course I do. You made a hell of a first impression. So did you. Really, I never thought things would end up like this. I never thought that encounter would lead to meeting someone so important to me. Not that I'd say it now. That's right. I couldn't say it, but... Just so you know, you're only allowed to remember our meeting right now. Even for a little. Once the world goes back, you have to forget. Even just for a second. I know. Just for an instant. So you're going to forget me? Just like that? If it would last just a little longer. This was your idea. Her voice. That's true. But it still pisses me off to hear you just say it like it was nothing. The way she moved. First you want me to forget, then you want me not to forget? Which is it? Her smile? It's a joke. I'm just kidding. Oh? It's a joke? Yeah. Just a joke. Just a little longer. So I can remember it all. But I was out of time. Okabe. Bye. Those words were the sign that the magic was over. Yeah. There was a million things I wanted to say, but I stopped myself. Krisu smiled satisfied and turned back towards the phone wave. She probably already had the message ready. The phone waves started to boom and crackle like thunder. There was a long, long countdown. The whole time Quisu faced away from me. And I just watched. The noise got louder, the countdown continued, and then it was time. Okabe, it's time to wake up. Quisu turned around with a big smile on her face. Her voice was cut off by the roar. Oh man. That was mean. And then I woke up from my short dream. Colour gradually returned to my blacked out vision. The lab started to come into focus. I could tell immediately that the world line had changed. I could still see Quisu when I closed my eyes. But she wasn't in the development room anymore. It's like the whole thing had been a daydream. I felt like I caught in the boundary between dreaming and wakefulness. I was back. Back to a world without Quisu. This wasn't the Alpha World line. Oh wait. This wasn't the Alpha World line? Oh yeah, because the beta is it, yeah. Okay, got it. There was no point to even bother to check. A moment ago, only Quisu and I had been in the room. And now, everyone was here. Okuin, what's wrong? Are you sick? No, I'm fine. Mayuri, want some medicine? I'm fine, no need to worry. Lukako, and... Really? You shouldn't push yourself. Kigari Shina. If Mayuri and Kigari are here, that meant I was back to the Beta World line. I'm just a little hungry. I haven't eaten anything all day. Come on, Okuin. You need to eat, or you won't get big like Uncle Daru. I'd rather skip a meal than end up like him. Huh? Uh-huh. Okay, Marishi will make something then. You will? Mami, can you? Kigari. Not you too. Yuki's been teaching me things lately. Okay then. I'll help too. Wait. Sorry, should I not help? No, that's not it. That's not it at all. I looked around at everyone and then back at Kigari. Miss Shina? Oh, Okuin. No, you can call me Kigari. Something was different. Okay, Kigari. Can I ask what you were calling Mayuri? Huh? I called her Mami. Why? Why? Because she's my Mami. Right, Mami? It's kind of embarrassing to hear that. I felt vaguely dizzy watching Mayuri fidget in embarrassment. And the two of you know your mother and daughter in the future? Huh? You're the one who told me about her. I did? That's right. You said it would be better to know the truth, right? Yep. Did I really tell him? Did I tell him something so important? Then does Lukako also... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to listen in, but I heard it anyway. Lukako lowered his head in apology. Oh, but don't worry, I haven't told anyone, and being able to share in everyone's secrets kind of made me happy. I'd be happy if you told me directly, but even Lukako know about Mayuri and Kigari, which meant that, of course. Still, I was really surprised. I thought that the time machine was only fiction. I had no idea you could make it real. He knew about the time machine. Evidently, I hadn't simply come straight back from the Alpha World line. It was in a world line slightly different from the one I'd been before. The divergent meter I used before was gone now. That meant I didn't have a precise number, but this felt very different. The problem was finding out what the same as the old world line and what was different. Kigari, can I ask you some more questions? What is it? I showered Kagari with questions in an effort to find out what was going on. Here's what I learned. First, Kagari retained her memories of her childhood. In other words, the year 2036. She knew Mayuri, Daru, Suzuhan, and also Ferris and Lukako. But as for what the world was like of 2036 was like, and how she became Mayuri's daughter, she hadn't told them the details about that. Fortunately, they hadn't seemed interested in knowing about their futures. Everyone always thinks they would want to know what their future holds. But when the choice finally comes, fear outweighs your curiosity. The future wasn't always a happy thing. Knowing the future might destroy your dreams. It might be a death sentence, like it was for me. Some people will lose all sense of meaning in their lives if they knew they were definitely going to be in a war which 5 billion people died. Inevitably. Then it was definitely you staying at Lukako's that brought you here, right? Yep. And it was you who brought me and Mam together, Ocarine. Don't you remember? Right. I just thought I'd double check, you know? Double check, huh? You're acting weird, Ocarine. Kagari going missing had happened almost exactly as I remembered it. The same was true in how she came to us. And you don't remember anything about what you were doing while you were missing? Nope, not a thing. The first thing I can remember is lying on the bed in the temple. She's still missing some of her memories too. In other words, in this world line, the only memories she had were of her childhood and the last few weeks since she's woken up in the Chiba Mountains. The most important part was still missing. Was there anything else I needed to ask? I was staring at the floor trying to think when I realized that something was missing. The floor is clean. Oh, I cleaned it before you came. No, that's what I meant. Wasn't there a little hole in the floor? A hole in the floor? The lab had been attacked just last night. During the attack, one of the bullets had left a dark hole in the floor. Was there a hole there? I don't think so. By the way, how was yesterday? The party was a lot of fun. I never had so much fun in my life. They wouldn't say that if there had been an attack, which meant the attack had never taken place. No one was after Kagami. Was no one after Kagami in this world? No. It was too early to assume that. I still don't know what happened when she had gone missing. Until I did, I couldn't say for sure if it was safe. Just like how sometimes Mayuri's death would occur on different days in the Alpha World line, the same thing might happen a few days later. In fact, it would be better to be cautious. I hope we can all have another party again soon. When we do, I'll make something. Me too, I'll help. They all started happily talking about last night's party. At first glance, it was a peaceful scene, but something sinister might be happening, and I just don't know it. No, I knew something had to be happening. The fact that the world line was changing was proof. Why had it changed anyways? I thought back to the events of that night. First, someone had taken over Amadeus. Chris had called me and asked for help. The world line had changed right after I had answered, which meant that the key was Amadeus? Did Amadeus have something to do with the world line change? What about the group who attacked Kagari? Was it all connected? Maybe I needed to find out. By the way, Kagari, are you okay on time? Oh no, break time's over. The owner's going to get mad at me. The owner? Do you have a job? That's right, I'm working at the brown workshop downstairs. Wait, I already told you this. I see. In the old world line, Kagari had started working for Tanuji after the attack. That was another difference. Jeez, you're so out of it today, Ocarine. Get a hold of yourself. Sorry. The guy hopped up and skipped out of the room. Her words and mannerisms were much more childish than they'd been in the last world line. We can't, okay? Hi. Bye. Gary, let me ask you one more thing before you go. I asked one final question to Kigari, who was now given a crisp stare. Does the word Amadeus mean anything to you? Amadeus? Kigari seemed to think for a moment. Nope, nothing. I see. She didn't look like she was lying or being sarcastic. She must really not known. I watched her leave the lab and took out my phone. There was another thing I needed to check. What was happening with Amadeus? I looked for the icon on my screen. Amadeus, the AI that held Masquerade Chris's personality and memories, and the application which started the program. But the program was gone. Yeah, I still have Maho as a contact. Oh, this is crazy. Well, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.